Well, hello. Welcome to Albany by Night. I'm Crifu Bernal, also known as Chris to my friends and family, and strangers as well, I guess. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 3 of season 2. I am the game master for this Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, as well as other campaigns here on ManaPot Studios. If you're curious about what other shows and streams we offer, you can scroll down below, click the games calendar, and see everything that we have on for the next several months, actually, because that doesn't change very often. Let's meet our cast.
Hi everyone, my name is Justin. I'll be playing Rain, who is an up-and-coming brewha from New York City. He is currently on his way to Albany with a cadre of other brewha to support the Prince of Albany against the Sabbat that are invading from Canada.
Hi, I'm Beth. I'm playing Vanna, a Tremere. She spends most of her time in New York City and DC. She's a lobbyist for trying to get healthcare for all and keep climate change because she really wants to keep that food supply alive.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I play Rhea. She's a venturer and the current Prince of Albany. She's now returning from New York, having been absent for the past few weeks, securing all the resources that she can get from New York.
And I'm Scott. I play Nick, the gangrel sheriff. A gangrel in name, if not spirit in action, and sheriff. Well, I'll tell you in a second. And sheriff of Albany. I say that because the gangrel are kind of estranged from the Cumry in general. I can't get the respect of my own clan, much less, in any city. But I have brought in I dealt with some crimes recently, so I did my job and I'm leading, kind of dealing with a terrible political situation that I'm about to share with the prince. So it's going to be a wonderful conversation.
We return to Albany on a very cold night in New York. It's pretty windy outside, at least here in Brooklyn. I'm sure it's even windier in the Capital District. North, far up the Hudson, we see the shining downtown of Albany, mirrored on the eastern side of the Hudson by the dark and run-down Renslayer. We can see a man leaving a bar there. A black man wearing a black leather jacket and hopping onto a motorbike and making his way across the bridge and into Albany. The camera goes past him and into downtown proper, quickly glimpsing over the Empire State Plaza and the agency buildings that tower above it. Panning across the Capital District, or the state capitol, lit up brightly at night, and then down Capitol Street to the Bank of America, through its brassy, spinning doors, and into its marbled, gilded hall. The place is dark and empty, except for 2 rows of chairs with one identical leather chair at the head. Rhea, can you describe the woman we see sitting there?
Yes, very pale, obviously. Very pale woman who consistently dresses in business formal, always wearing an A-line skirt, never caught dead without a jewel-toned satin blouse. She typically wears Louboutin heels and keeps her blonde hair tied tightly in a low pony.
Louboutin.
Louboutin. You can see I'm familiar with those. The Louboutins. That's about it.
You hear the spinning doors spin, and our sheriff walks in.
In comes Nick, a tall, unremarkably handsome, dark-haired man He's wearing probably like a t-shirt and a pea coat for the weather, maybe some jeans and some dark boots. He takes off his coat as he comes in, throws it kind of with some just a level of lack of care onto one of the chairs as he comes walking up. He's walking with anger in his step and a certain purpose as he yells out to no one in particular. Tired of this bullshit town. I'm tired of doing bullshit in this bullshit town.
Get it out before everyone else gets here.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, that's why I'm encouraging.
Okay. Because, have I mentioned this fucking town is bullshit?
Yes, I agree. It seems to bring me nothing but grief. Can you believe that my life was actually decently unremarkable and unstressful, other than just being constantly dead and only able to move around at night? No stress. It was fine before becoming the Prince of Albany. Thank you for that.
Well, listen, I don't really enjoy the glamour. I'm a creature of the night, and I've become a shitty middle manager / authority figure in this town that's about to be invaded by our,
Mortal
society's enemies. Yes, so
immortal enemies, I guess. Well, at least it came with a decent raise.
And you, well, yeah, I'm sure you can't enjoy it when you're staked by basically monstrous cannibalistic Kindred who are going to flay us alive, or dead, as it were. But here we are.
Again, sorry for missing that. I was smoothing things over from the almost riot that happened in New York.
Yeah, I know. It's fine.
There's a throat clearing from the corner, like that leads to the back offices. And we see a very pretty young dark-skinned man wearing a pinstriped suit, or at least something business casual. Luther, I'm afraid it's my fault that you're here in this predicament.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, he's paid his dues. He knows he did something wrong. Luther, my love.
It's good to see you again. And he kneels and takes your hand and a long kiss on the back of it.
The sight of you is a breath of fresh air I needed.
He stands up and holds your hands and he's probably a couple inches taller than you, just looking deeply into your eyes. The two of them are just locked.
None of that here. Here I am Prince. Save this. I don't do PDA.
Right.
You know what? Get it out of your system.
No.
Because before
we'll
court
get
starts.
it out of our system later on.
I can control myself.
It is your fault, partially, that we are here.
The Sabbat tricked me. But I didn't know.
We were tricked by the Sabbat. It happens. Many of us were.
I didn't know what having a gracious and caring prince was like.
Hard eye roll. Well, now we all do. It's wonderful,
Speechless.
isn't it?
Thank you.
Exactly.
Well, it is hard work. It is hard work.
I'm here to support you in any way you need.
Well, that I know.
He lets go of your hands and steps back.
I think she forgot that she was holding his hands and probably now feels like there's a weight missing. And she didn't realize that she was actually squeezing them. And then they were gone. And
right.
she was like, oh, there's...
So Luther.
Yes, sir?
What's been going on? We haven't spoken in some time.
I've been watching, keeping the haven safe, staying busy.
Do you have the feeling that our enemies from the north are about to appear to destroy us utterly and completely?
I haven't noticed any action, but I don't.
Better already.
I don't get out often anymore.
Here.
For reasons.
for reasons.
So maybe some of your Sabat buddies might have, tipped you off.
He has no Sabat buddies. We saw to that.
I don't.
I thought so. But
My loyalties are firmly tied to the Ivory Tower. Vana, how are you getting to the Bank of America?
I'd take a fancy car.
Like a black car?
Like a black car.
So,
Like an X.
but where are you? You're probably staying at the Chantry.
Yeah.
So
Whatever.
the camera cuts to a neighborhood north of downtown. A dark street. The trees having lost most of their leaves at this point, kind of below as we see a series of row houses, some brownstones, and a very nice looking duplex. And into the one on the left, into the living room, where we see a woman.
So you see a woman, she looks early 30s, dark hair, like Eastern European. She's dressed like she has money. She very clearly, you can tell she has money, but she's dressed very business cocktail hour attire, and that's how she mostly dresses.
And she's stepping out of the house. We can see as you step out of the front door, there's this shimmer of force in the doorway as you leave the Chantry's magical protections. And then you step into a car and zoom off. Where is Rain, and how is he getting to the court?
So I think you see 3 nondescript white work vans heading up the interstate from New York to Albany.
Okay.
And as you sort of zoom in closer, you see them sort of swerving across the road and people throwing stuff out the window. And you see a bunch of brouhaha in the vans, just screaming at passers-by and causing a ruckus. And then you pan forward to the front van, and then the driver who's barely keeping the car on the road, and then to the person in the front passenger seat is just a very quiet-looking, very clean cut compared to all the other brouhaha, has headphones in, and is just sitting there calmly, spaced out in his own world in the midst of all of this chaos that's going on around him.
As the sound and the noise starts to fade, what are you listening to that starts to come in to the foreground?
I think you hear the Cardigans' Love Fool playing as the thrash metal sort of fades out, and you hear this 90s electropop sort of coming in. And I think the driver taps him on the shoulder, and he's pulls out the headphones, and he's like, where are we going? There's signs for Albany. And he's like, well, you guys there's a motel that you'll pull off to, and then I'll take one of the vans. And then you sort of see that happen, and then he just kind of gets quietly into the van, and he pulls out onto the road. He puts his turn signal on, and you just see a big smile come up on his face.
Okay, cool. So we cut back to the court, where Vana is walking in. When you step in, you walk through the spinning doors and look off to your right. There's a series of tellers, stalls in front of you, and then to the right there's these little offices, typical bank thing. But all the waiting room chairs have been pulled off into this kind of boardroom style arrangement. Prince Rhea, who you met almost 3 weeks ago. But you've maybe known each other before that, is sitting at the head.
Yes.
To her right is Nick, and to her left is the same well-suited young man that I described earlier, Luther. You also recognize Danny, the old harpy of Brooklyn, who is sitting next to Nick, wearing a red and white seersucker suit. And he's like, Vana! And he stands up and immediately comes over to you.
Danny, how are you?
Come
It's been too long.
And he gives you a big hug. So great to see you. I was very glad to hear that you were coming down or up to Albany.
This is the first time I've been here. It's pretty.
It's fine. I'm putting on my first production at the Albany Symphony tomorrow night. You're more than welcome to sit in one of the balconies.
That sounds lovely. Of course I'll be there.
Mm-hmm. It's hard filling Christine's shoes, but from what I understand, she didn't have a great reputation around here anymore.
Well, I'm certain you'll make a great reputation here.
Oh, my manners. Excuse me, Prince. And he goes and sits back down and leaves you standing there alone. Just abandons you, essentially.
Yes, thank you. Though it is proper for those newcomers to the city to introduce themselves to the Harpies first, so not entirely out of structure.
I mean, I'd already vetted her arrival.
Of course.
As well as the other one coming tonight.
Yes, the other one.
He's fine. Anyway, sorry.
Sounds like a ringing endorsement. He's fine. For Bruja?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we have a guest.
Yes, welcome. Please make yourself comfortable in one of these chairs. And as we wait our other guests, how have you been?
Well, the train ride up here wasn't my favorite, but what can you do?
Well, there's not much to do on that.
How have you been?
Well, I just returned myself from New York a mere few days ago. It has taken a few nights ago. It's taken that long to get caught up on the happenings around here while I was gone. As always, there's drama in Albany.
I'm sure you heard about what happened at the Chantry, Danny says.
I've heard some things.
It was terrifying. I mean, I've experienced Tremere magics like that before, but I didn't know Herschel that well, and I still don't.
You didn't know. You don't know.
Is he alive? Is that really what living is?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
And how much longer will he be alive once he returns?
Well, we don't want him to go the way of Christine. He might have some use still.
Hopefully we'll do it in a much more...
I think he just may have been a little reckless as you.
Needless to say, Danny smiles, we're very grateful to have another representative of Clan Tremere joining us in Albany.
Of course.
Is your chantry able to clean up the blood itself like a blood magic Roomba?
Of course.
Oh, nice. Because that took me a couple days to get the blood from under my nails from having to deal with the Tremere mistakes that need to be cleaned
up. There
up.
was no blood when I arrived.
How nice.
We have a good cleanup crew then.
Tershula, as he was, I assume he's in the Chantry, right? Is he being kept?
Yeah,
like,
he's there.
Being preserved there?
And so you probably looked over his body, and one of the fledglings kind of was serving you.
He's there. He's in the chat.
You probably had access to his office as well.
Oh, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I probably looked through his entire office.
Joe's gonna be pissed. Oh well.
You're unconscious.
Maybe we shouldn't have done so much blood potency last time.
A white van pulls up outside.
Yeah,
An unmarked white van.
I think you guys probably hear light tapping on the heavy doors that are
the revolving doors.
Oh, what? Well, is this like a lobby situation?
Yes, we're just straight up in the lobby.
Okay,
but it's a marbled and gilded lobby.
Well, then in that case, I guess you do see a nondescript white van pull up in what is a fairly empty parking lot, and you see a man in sort of also kind of nondescript, worker's clothes, long coat and a bright red scarf. Walk through the revolving doors.
Relieved a bunch of clowns didn't come pouring out of the thing.
Danny stands up. Rain, good to see you again.
Danny, and how is Albany treating you?
Quite fine. I'm glad that you were able to. Thank you for sending ahead of your arrival. It's always nice to prepare for guests.
It's we're happy to be here. It's Bruja.
We
promised that we would support in the fight against the Sabbat.
Group?
Prince Ria, may I please introduce Rain of Clan Bruja?
Rain, I remember you. Nice to see you again.
You were so busy, I was afraid maybe you wouldn't remember me. I know I'm not extremely...
I do not forget a face,
memorable.
especially one like that. No. Especially not
I have
a voice
gotten that
like
before.
that. You said your friends are with you?
It's like they're ready to fight by your side.
Should we send like a...
By or against?
We're here to fight the Sabbat.
Alright.
Isn't that what we're doing here in the illustrious court of Albany?
Mm-hmm.
And he looks around the...
Should I should I have the coroner send a wagon to collect the dead bodies from your brood, or should I wait till morning? I'm sure they just got in. Might be busy doing, what Brewhod do sometimes.
My people have to eat.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yes, but hopefully not kill. It is much more noticeable in Albany than it is in New York.
We Brooklynites are a lot more capable than that. You lived in New York not too long ago.
Yeah, I know. I remember the Brewhod in New York.
Manhattan, not Brooklyn.
You would never come out to my borough.
Well, every time I came out there was some sort of trouble I had to clean up.
Anyway, what's that? Oh, I
Next
think
station,
hors d'oeuvres
yours
are ready. Danny gets up and moves around to the stalls where you can see him, like the clinking of glasses, and he's just Luther introduces himself to you both. It's excellent to meet another Brewha. There's only 2 of us here in Albany, 2 official Kindred.
It's like, yeah, friends of mine told me that I could find you here. It's like, it is great to meet. It's like, we should talk.
I'm hoping my sire will be here soon.
Sarge should be here any minute.
And that's when we hear like the motorbike pull up out
Speaking
front.
of the
Great.
devil.
It's the leader of the pack.
There he
Vroom,
is.
vroom.
Sarge has always been well behaved, though. He's the one Brewha that I do like. Of course, but besides you, Luther. I always forget your Brewha. He's just so well behaved.
Well, don't
What
forget, plenty of
Brains?
Gangrel and Brewha come through the Capital District. They just don't stay very long.
No, I'm sure of that, but most of them haven't, organized an uprising in very recent memory. Or encouraged. Sorry, it wasn't very organized.
What are you alluding to?
The spinning doors spin. There's the stomp of heeled boots as the same man that we saw at the beginning of tonight's episode strides in. He's got a shaved head, a thick black goatee, wearing a black leather jacket. And as he comes in, he looks up. Oh, sorry I'm late. Newcomers.
Yes,
More guests, I guess.
yes.
I'm Sarge, the other harpy here in Albany.
You know there was always supposed to be 2.
It's just you haven't been paying much attention to me lately.
You've been coming around a lot. I've also not been here since the new harpy has been here.
Well, I've got news.
All right, great, sure. Let's all take our seats.
He goes and he sits.
I
Yeah.
heard there were hors d'oeuvres.
Oh yeah, Danny's like from behind, and he brings out like a flute of champagne glasses. Not a flute of champagne.
Sorry, this is new to court. There's never been refreshments.
Well, from what I understand, Danny says as he brings like there's a tray of cocktail of champagne flutes filled with bubbly blood. Don't
Danny
worry.
had quite the reputation of
You
being
know-
a great harpy in New York.
You did not have a harpy that was invested in keeping this court running. Christine had her parties, but she didn't care about this domain.
She had her eyes set on something much different.
So, I'm here to support court as much as possible.
I'm sorry. I think I've grown accustomed to the taste of shit sandwiches recently. It's nice to get something a little nicer.
I will pass. I have to keep my brains about me. Thank you for your ambiance.
Okay. It's a little like,
It's okay.
deny me.
Delicious.
Drink it anyway.
What's
You
the-
can.
What?
Yes, of course you can.
What the?
Danny, you and Danny grew up together.
Oh yeah, of course he would know my type.
He knows your type. He wouldn't be serving things that you can't
Okay, the
drink.
minute that he starts looking offended, I'll just like look at him deep in the eyes, roll my eyes, and be like, fine.
Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it.
Of course. Everyone,
Rain
please.
will take a flute and drink it with great reserve.
I've found in my many years as a member of courts across New York. Well, I shouldn't say across. But I have found that starting off the evening with a simple beverage will ease the tensions, bring everyone's hunger down a little bit, and keep us amicable. No?
Yeah.
What does Sarge's face look like during this little speech?
She's like, now, Sarge and Danny have met before. So, like, this isn't like, but he's definitely like, whatever.
What do you got? What would you bring for refreshments, Sarge? Some blood sausage or something?
Hey, you know, if you come over to the derailed bar and grill, I'll take care of you.
What is the news you bring us? Refresh us with this news.
Buffalo's become anarch territory.
Oh.
A new baron has risen up. He stands up and like in front of you, walks into the center of this row of chairs and like stands in front of you. I have to apologize. It seems that I have not been keeping my affairs in order. A year ago, my own child was a part of a plot to overthrow the princeship here, and you showed great mercy. But now it seems my partner and old lover, Fiona, has become baron of Buffalo.
Granted her
amnesty, I know. I thought her anarch.
You promised me that she would bow to the ivory tower and that she would not be an issue.
For the last...
This is on your head and this is on my head.
Sarge is all ready. He woke up on the wrong side of the bed tonight. I'm gonna make a frenzy check for him.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm not even dread gazing him.
It doesn't even, he knows it's his fault. And that's why it's such a problem. Let's do some sort of provocation. Difficulty 2. Nothing terrible. He might pass this. To resist frenzy, willpower. Oh, it's just a willpower roll. Great. He's got hunger. I've got these special dice. I think a singular 8. No, that's right. Okay, 2 successes. Just enough. But Rain, you recognize the Bruja rage inside of him.
See it just start to well up, and then he just barely
controls it.
clamps
Yeah,
it down.
I honestly, I feel like you would be able to sense the beast's presence even momentarily.
I've got that. I've got the
sense the unseen.
sense the unseen.
I guess that's more of an animalism thing to detect the beast. But
Is there anyone in particular he is sort of projecting that feeling towards?
go ahead and roll wits and
Sure.
insight.
All right, so 3.
And you've got 2 hunger, don't forget. That only matters if you get
3 and 2. I'm pretty good at this.
a bestial failure is
Oh, sorry.
Did you put your hunger dice in there?
I did.
Yeah,
the white
the
dice.
2 whites,
The white.
yeah. So
Yeah, let's choose the white.
5 plus is a success or 6
6 plus.
Okay, so 0 successes, a 1 on my hunger dice.
That doesn't matter.
No, that does matter.
Yep.
That's a bestial failure.
Only 1 on the...
That's all.
Oh, but you
Okay,
didn't get
that's
any
fine.
other successes?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's the only time that matters.
Yeah.
This entire time
I
we've
got
played
lots
this,
of
we've not
5s.
got
Your
one.
first fucking roll. Your first roll is a bestial
Just
failure.
never played this.
I came here to
Warned
make
you
things
about the
happen.
Justin,
Yeah,
roll a 10-sided for me, please.
Okay.
Let's get ready.
A 9.
A 9. Your compulsion is paranoia.
Ooh, that makes sense.
So for the rest of the scene, you will treat everyone with suspicion and try to get out of any and all engagements.
Okay. That makes sense. So as he sort of starts to well up, Rain starts to move like further down the line of chairs and is just sort of positioning himself for like an exit if that needs to happen.
Because you feel like you're looking at him and he's like, this guy's about to fucking explode.
Right, and the prince also like called me out within a moment of being here, so like I'm not sure exactly what I've walked into.
You're
This
paranoid.
place seems like there's a lot happening.
And I think you can all tell that he's starting to get like
Oh, definitely.
edgy,
Really
cagey.
expect-
Yeah, very cagey.
Keep an eye on this guy.
Listen, Sarge. We've all made mistakes trusting the wrong people. And the moment we start taking their betrayals as our own or as own failings is where we fail the entire Camarillo and the Ivory Tower falls.
That's why I'm here.
You came to tell us this information. It's not good news.
No.
But
Well, we know how Fiona got to Buffalo. Donna.
Fucking right, Donna.
And Danny, she took Valerie with her. So the Malkavians have taken over Buffalo.
Or the Anarchs, or the same thing.
Well, that's not exactly it, Sarge says. And then from out of thin air steps a older-looking woman wearing black rags. Her eyes are a strange shimmer of blue, and she has elfin-looking ears. Esmeralda, the Malkavian head who was at the LARP, who was at Wonderville 3 weeks ago. The LARP's not, well, anyway, sorry. Out of character. Anyway. She steps out of thin air. That's correct. I have not joined my clanspeople in the city of the roaming buffalo.
Well, that's a real relief.
She steps over. She stands right behind Rain's chair. And she puts her hand on your head and just like strokes it with these long nails. I'm glad to see you're here.
That's going to help your paranoia.
It's like you've whispered enough things into my ear. Is this a trap?
It's not a trap. While all of this is, well, terrible, the main thing that is on my mind, it has now taken, four good kindred away from our cause against the Sabbat. It has made us weaker against now 2 enemies. We have 2 enemies to fight on fronts. How exciting. Which one do we fight first?
I don't think the Anarchs are an immediate threat. They want to rule themselves, and Buffalo has been without a leader. Vampires just roaming freely. Masquerade is important to them as well.
I don't think that they will just let it be for that long. They'll want to expand. They'll want to show their power. Expand their domain.
I mean, this might be, I don't mean to, perhaps the Buffalo's transition will make them a juicier target for the Sabbat. Maybe it'll divert the attention. Maybe. It's right now if you may have heard me bemoaning our current stability, but compared to what must be happening in Albany, a new transition of power to Malkavians, that must be like, think how tempting a target that would be for some Canadian Sabbat coming down and looking for a place to take advantage of.
You might have a point, but still,
yeah, it's like long term. It just means that we're.
Boston has had a Malkavian prince for centuries.
Yes, I know. There's King Arthur. It's
have
wonderful.
You met Fiona?
Well,
have you met Donna?
Oh.
I have.
Together, they're a nuclear bomb.
I'm just saying, in the chaos, perhaps it might be some diversion from our situation in the short term. The long term is just going to be even more to deal with.
So first we worry about our attackers from the north, and then to the northwest.
Right. this feels personal because of their involvement with what's happening in Buffalo, but it might as well be happening in, in the Andromeda galaxy for how it affects the fact that Sabbat are here now. We'll deal with that when it comes up. It's not a trap. If it's a trap, I look over at Rain, who's like looking at.
Have you?
I think Rain is like moved away from the Valkavian, is like slinking around the outsides of the room now, just like sort of like staring down and like looking sketchy, and he's like, "This place is more doomed than I could have imagined."
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome.
You Bruja guys like chaos and things, disorder and anarchy, and I don't know, maybe just chaos. Is that fair? So here you are. This is the most punk rock place you can be.
Yeah, I feel like every time I lived in New York for, let's say, about 60 years, 50 years, 60 years, and you always play around with the idea of chaos, but you don't know when you're like, you don't know the power of chaos until you're thrown amongst it, not having curated any of it.
When someone uses it against you,
And
when you step into someone else's chaos.
For some reason, it's just been going on for the past year in Albany. Did they mention anything about the progenitors?
No. Sarge shakes his head. Nothing about the technomages that were once studying us underneath the city of Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
Tight.
So what now?
That's what I ask my prince. And Sarge bends the knee once more. He looks up after a moment of silence.
She's speechless.
What's next? What's next?
Herschel is a lucky one.
I'm sensing some tension, some stress. Are you not capable of handling this?
I am capable of handling this.
And like Luther stands up, Sarge, that's not fair.
Presence. Yeah. I'll just try to enamor him. Like, I don't like being seen this week, even though I'm a little bit stressed out.
Enamor, what are we doing?
Presence. The,
Awe?
Yeah.
Entrance? No, awe.
Just a little tingling.
Okay, so you're adding this, you remember, you just add awe to certain, what the fuck, there it is. So all you do is you add your presence rating to any skill roll involving persuasion or performance. You just activate it for free. The manipulation, anyone aware that they're being affected can try to resist. So let's do that actually, because you're trying to, who are you affecting? Everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. I realized I have been a little unhinged this evening, and I would like to remind everyone who is in charge and why.
Start with that. The role play first.
Well, we've had a lot of information this evening that's been quite unsettling, but let's remember we are all here, and we have newcomers here to help us for our cause against the Sabbat. And while things may seem, I want to say unsettled again, but I'm going to, unsettled and shifting, I will be the one to head the charge. And I'm stable enough to do so. And I need you all to remember it. Can I roll now?
Yes. Roll leadership
Okay.
plus charisma.
Okay. Social roll?
It is a social roll.
You get a +1 to
Because
that?
you're a siren. Because you're beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't forget you get extra stuff because you're beautiful.
Oh, great.
because life's not fair. Deal with it. Bitches.
Every day I do.
Leadership.
Rain's a beautiful man.
Rain's beautiful. If I didn't describe that,
He's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
I'm rich.
Oh, great.
How much hunger do you
Are
have?
you looking
we
for a
have
sugar
one.
vampire?
Okay.
Or am I looking for
Do you look at the
You're
sugar
looking for a sugar vampire?
Sugar vamp.
I also have a Ricky.
It's sugar
1,
sire.
2, 3,
Here's
4, 5 successes.
Okay, so unless anyone's trying to resist it,
No.
we all turn to Rhea, and through her presence causes us all to feel inspired to work together.
I might try to resist it.
Please do.
Go for it.
Just to be,
Obstinate.
I need you to remain.
Yeah, right.
So you're going to roll composure plus intelligence, and you're going to roll manipulation plus presence.
Oh no, you're fucked. Sorry.
Composure. Well, you roll first.
No, you roll first.
We only have so many dice to spare between us,
Do you want
and
more
this
dice?
is such a high.
I've got a whole bunch over
We
here,
have
too.
more
Okay.
dice.
Because I have.
Yeah, more dice.
I would consider this. So you said composure plus.
Intelligence.
Okay, I got 6 dice. Plus I have unswayable mind, which gives me.
Ooh.
I resist any attempts to sway through mundane charms as well as supernatural abilities such as dominator presence, which allows me to add my fortitude to that.
Oh!
By the way, Chris, something that we talked about earlier, but I forgot. I took Unbondable.
Right, so you can't.
Remember, I can't be.
Oh, interesting.
5, 6, 7 successes.
Versus,
Alright, well, I'm rolling 8 die. We'll see what.
don't forget, you can always spend a willpower
plus
to
1%.
reroll up to 3 non-hunger dice. Use all your willpower during the session, because
that's 2.
it's a one
Yeah,
shot.
those are 4. I
So
had the
it's
same.
4. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
So even Nick
Yeah.
I'm so
is
sorry.
is
I was trying to
enamored
be
by
here.
this presence.
That's so many.
All of you feel inspired and in
Yeah.
awe of Rhea's leadership, and all of you, even paranoid Rain, understands that this is why she is the prince of the capital district.
Yeah, so in the tense moment where maybe they're looking at each other, Rain will speak up and he'll say, I don't believe any leadership should go unchallenged.
And
But-
that's fair.
I have to say, you've proven that you have loyal friends, powerful people that care about you, and that you're at least worthy of this position for now.
I didn't take this position, and that's one thing I was only able to discuss in New York after it all died down. I didn't take this position. I was given it by everyone who fought next to me. They voted me in.
Sarge, he stands up at this piece, he was kneeling.
Yeah.
I have been living in Albany for almost my entire life, several decades. And she deserves the role.
Anyway, getting down to business. Sorry, I'm not one. I don't like compliments. I would prefer to figure out our role. What do we do from now on? How do we move forward? What is our next form of attack?
I think an alliance with Buffalo against
Are you kidding me?
with the Sabbat threat. It is best if we stand strong. Albany and Buffalo are primed to defend New York from Canada, which sounds crazy.
There is a reason that the Sabbat chose the Anarchs as a cover to infiltrate and kill the previous prince.
Because as a sect, the Camarilla have ousted them. It makes sense to use that paranoia, that suspicion. At that moment, Vana has a premonition. You have a vision. In it, you can see a gray-skinned, clawed hand pull a big breaker down. And then you open your eyes and you look out the window and you see the street lights to the south shutting off.
Do I know, what kind of creatures have that type of hand?
Roll intelligence plus occult. Don't forget your hunger dice.
Do you add them or do you?
You
You replace.
you substitute.
Two of them will be hunger dice.
This is a very new mechanic for vampire. You just use blood points and all of that.
It creates like a different.
Yeah.
It's nice.
That's
Tension.
Plus its successes.
Mhm.
So 2 successes.
2 successes. One's count against. Just FYI.
Oh, I got 1.
Okay,
On
so
your hunger die.
but that's 1 success then.
So 1 success.
Vampire. Nosferatu? Maybe.
Interesting.
And the lights until inside the hall the lights go out. Danny shrieks, "Ah!
Danny, calm down.
I'm sorry, that was just surprising.
We can see in the dark.
We can't.
We can't?
No.
I can.
Gangrels with
Touch
protein.
you'd be like,
Oh,
lock the doors.
I thought vampires could see in the dark.
No.
So
Lock the doors.
my eyes flash red for a second.
That's
as-
free, no rouse check?
Yeah, no rouse.
I
Okay.
had a vision.
I'm pretty sure.
It was
I'll let it double check,
a
but-
vampire, I think, that did this.
What did it look like?
I know it's free,
Well, I
but it
just
might
saw
have a
its
rouse.
hand.
I think it's no, I don't think I think it's free. I think my
Can I
so-
try to? Oh,
I'm sorry. My eyes flash red, and then I go rushing towards to lock the door.
The revolving door?
Yeah,
You do that.
and I pull out my gun.
You also do that.
also pull out gun. She just told me the premonition with the description. I don't want to be that person, but can I try to?
I don't want to be that person, but may I be that person?
Intelligence plus occult, if you got it.
But
Eyes of the Beast, it is free, no rolls required.
Great, thanks.
What an inopportune time to
That
be
is 3
paranoid.
successes.
Yes.
How many?
Right? 3. Same? Is it the same? I
If
don't
it's
remember.
not, no, she only had 1. If it's not a Nosferatu, it's a Tsumiche.
It's totally fucking Ceviche. There was 2.
what's a ceviche?
A Sabat clan.
Okay.
There are 2 clans. There are 13 clans in total. 7 of which are Camarilla, although many would say Bruja and Gangrel are no longer Camarilla clans. They are Anarch clans.
Borderline.
Right, and there's a big schism in this edition concerning that. The 2 main Sabat clans are Ceviche, like Ceviche, and La Sombra. And so the 2 of you, being old enough vampires, know that Ceviche have a special ability where where they can they can shape flesh and bone. And La Sombra have special abilities where they can move shadow. The Zen of Games, one of our viewers, just noted that we pronounce Camarilla and Ceviche the same way that they do.
Well, it's confusing.
Those are very contentious words as far as
Right.
pronunciation
Yeah, I
goes.
can see that. I can see that.
Because I've had people be like, no, it's Camarilla.
Yeah, many
And I'm
times.
like, maybe in America.
Yeah, that seems suspect.
Give me a
to be
quesadilla.
Amarilla.
Yeah, I'm in Amarillo, and I'm going to get a quesadilla as a member of the
As we
Camarilla.
made fun of it for the first year that we played
We did say
Vampire, we
Camarilla.
did say Camarilla.
You know, because the video game says Camarilla. But
Yeah.
Oh.
those are California
Wow, okay.
anarchs, so I don't trust them more than
Anyway.
Anyway, sorry, Zen of Games. You totally took us off topic. So the lights are out.
So I'm walking towards the door. I've got my gun out, and they say if they're taking to strike us while our court, take us out in one shot, then they've got us at a disadvantage. But they also got us at our strongest. We're all here, and we're all here to defend the court. So this might be their mistake. And I go and do that. You know, how the revolving doors have that bolt that kind of locks it in.
Right.
So I revolve it and and push down the lock. To
Nice.
I'm
lock
grabbing
it up.
everyone. There is a conference room in the back that we all remember that we went to when the whole blood rat situation happened.
That's right.
How can I
Going
forget?
back.
Feels like just yesterday.
So everyone, Prince
Come
Ria,
with me.
I checked the street.
if you want to live.
Come with me.
I checked the
Yeah.
street. Do I see anything moving on the street in front of the bank?
You do not see anything.
I'm gonna turn the flashlight on my phone.
Yep.
So we can see.
Do you have
Thank
a
you.
computer?
No,
Oh.
computer's not a. It's not on.
It's technology now.
Technology.
Used to be.
Yeah, I have one in technology.
Okay, good.
You can use a smartphone without being trained in technology.
I turned
Trust
a
me.
flashlight on.
Although you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I take out my other phone. I turn on 2 flashlights.
I was about to ask, which phone is it?
I have 2 phones.
So, we all move back into the conference room.
Yeah.
Rain, Lana, Rhea, Nick, Luther, Sarge, and Danny. Oh, and Esmeralda.
No, right.
She just follows in
Man.
behind you. I hope it's happening. I wanted to see it.
I'm sorry.
What are you talking about?
The creatures. The creatures that are coming.
And you knew of this and didn't tell us.
Well, I guess.
But you should have told us.
The old prince's lair that we found at the end. There were tunnels, right?
Uh-huh.
Is there one leading from under the bank?
Why would there be one?
It's near the Empire Plaza.
You picked the bank.
That's damn it.
It is not. There is not one.
But
It is
I know
here.
the map.
It's close enough. You're right. It's not, though. I think a part of the reason why you picked the bank was that it had no connection to the Empire
and
State
it was
Plaza.
pretty. All right, go on.
So you all head back there, and Esmeralda follows as well. Yes, the creatures. Strange, flesh-made creatures with claws that rip and tear and kill.
As she's saying that, Rain's paranoia is growing, and if they've closed themselves in a room, I think he's starting to like freak out and be like, "We're sitting ducks in here. Like we have to be on the attack. What are we doing?"
Where's the nearest building that connects to the tunnels? Sorry, I'm thinking.
Well, you'd have to go west or north. We're only 2 blocks from the plaza itself.
We can move.
Leaving the building? Esmeralda, eyes wide.
Well, this one's gonna implode if we don't do something.
Well, why don't you just post at the door and be prepared? If
This
they
is-
come in, you are the stalwart.
We can cross the street to the west, and I'm pretty sure we can go down into the mall
we
from
were
there.
Here. I wonder how his eyes glance around the room. So they knew court was in session. We're the target of this, and they're counting on us to be here. So this is probably what they want us to do. There might be some.
So why don't we surprise them and not be here?
Exactly. Let's move. I like your idea.
There's a back route.
Well, can't she tell us more about what she saw? Esmeralda, tell us more about what you saw.
I'm sure it won't be confusing or vague or.
I'm
you
certain
know.
to be confusing
Let
and
the confusing vague person speak.
Well, they were like hairless dogs. Wolves, almost. Peach and pink. With large fangs that tore and shredded. Blood. Blood everywhere. And then the clip of heels from behind on a marbled floor. I wanted to see if that was what was going to happen tonight.
well, perhaps we should avoid marble.
We're in the bank has marble.
Well, let's leave
foyer.
now. Let's go.
Yeah.
You go to open.
No, we don't do it.
Wait, we take it back. We all take it back.
Okay. Once again, I would like to say, if at any
I
point
would not go out the front. There is a back entry, which is how they got in the last time to do the whole blood thing.
there is a back entry, I will also say, as we're moving into the horror aspect of tonight's activities, if things get too real, too gross, too gruesome, too scary, just say X, and I will pull back and move on. All right, just so everyone knows.
Chris, I'm about to get started. I give you the same warning.
Right. Right. So, like, if it's not just me, it could be anyone here tonight. It could be even Jeff, who's off camera.
Nick will give it to you.
So,
Nick's
but
gonna give it to
back exit, trash
First he's
goes
gonna
out
rock,
there.
then I'm gonna
Okay.
roll.
Okay. So
Before we go out, can I do the heightened senses thing I have to see if there's anything outside?
okay, so you activate your heightened senses, which is free, I'm pretty
Yes.
sure.
I believe so.
There's a discipline document down here also, if at any point you're wondering. Your disciplines will be in there and you can look it up while we're opposite. But yes, heightened senses, you activate for free, and then you add your aspects to your awareness roll.
Okay.
So make wits and awareness plus aspects.
So Aspects. Wits.
And awareness.
Keep your wits about you.
And awareness.
Evil looking guy.
Some people say it's like Samish.
Smasha?
Samish, which just does not sound...
Titsumoshush.
Samiche.
Tashitu.
Because it's Eastern
So-
European, it's Romanian.
4 successes.
You listen. You hear cars outside. You hear a helicopter far up ahead. You hear the buzzing of electricity in the walls. Not active, but still there. Just not working. Or maybe you're just hearing like the wires that connect them. That's it.
I don't hear anything. We should go.
Alright. Back exit. We don't need.
Okay. The 4 of you step out first into the alley behind the Bank of America.
I blow Luther a kiss.
And at that point,
Oh, great.
there's a low growl. Hard to hear things when they don't breathe. And 2 of these fleshy pink wolves are at the end of the alley, kind of glowing in the darkness, just because of how pale and light-colored they are. And as they go to leap, we're going to take our break.
Of course.
Dear viewers, thank you for hanging out with us. The Zen of Games, thanks for joining us. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Quick bio break. We're running till 11 p.m. Eastern tonight. So we'll be back in just a jiff. Jeff, if you could take us out,
Just a jet.
we'll be back. Welcome back to the 3rd episode of the 2nd season of Albany by Night. Our coterie has just stepped into the alleyway behind the Bank of America, a block from the state capital of New York, when 2 hairless dogs, wolves, are growling from the end of the alleyway. I was about to say let's roll initiative. That's not what we're going to do. Rolling initiative sucks.
I hide behind Nick.
Me too. Wait, who's Nick? Oh,
So,
Nick.
let's start with Nick. What do you do?
I run forward. My eyes glowing red. As I holster my weapon and
Right, you're the only one who can see properly right now.
and I draw claws.
No,
They turn them all off.
Uh-huh.
And I go, I have them right in front of me, like, there are creatures ahead! Protect the prince! As I holster my gun and draw to make a rouse roll as I pop razor sharp claws.
Right. This is level 2 Protean?
Yeah. It's called Feral Weapons. I fail the rouse, so I'm
Hunger, baby!
getting hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And I just dive in and start attacking the first creature that's probably also clicking on its talons.
Do these things have
coming at
hunger?
me.
I bet they do have hunger. So I'm going to roll Dex and Dodge, try and get away from this.
Okay, would you like me to make a brawl and...
Strength.
Strength, okay.
If you've got potence, of course.
I don't have potence.
Ah.
Fortitude and protean and aspects. I'm a thinking man's sheriff.
A thinking gangrel.
Yeah.
That's a rare one.
Unfortunately, that's not what we need
Are
right
you a
now.
thinking gangrel and I'm a thinking Bruja? What did we do?
Critical success!
Well, that's fantastic. I'm sure I'll nail this. Let me get my. I get +2 because.
Wait, I need 2 10s for the critical success.
Yeah.
Just 1 10.
Okay.
I don't know this game. I don't know how to play this game. I'm only the storyteller for
I
it.
got 5 successes.
3.
Okay.
Okay. So the wolf tries to twist out of the way as your claw just scrapes the side of it.
I dig in and pull it back down and kick it once and then slash it again, and I'm just probably relatively superficial, but I'm keeping it contained.
Right. I mean, these things, you see them rip into them. It's not superficial damage for these.
Oh, good.
Things.
Right.
Definitely. I mean, slashing, piercing weapons for Kindred even are typically activated.
Yeah, but with the claws alone, they don't do they do aggravated damage to mortal creatures. They don't do aggravated to vampires, but they don't have either. They don't get halved like the most superficial damage does. For vampires, would take half, would do half damage from bullets and stuff like that, according to the rules.
Okay.
It says in the rules that they don't do aggravated damage, but they don't do half damage either. Rules, I know.
But okay, let's just keep going.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm really confused now, but because I thought taking superficial damage is essentially half of. Oh, got it.
I have to go through all the damage track and then go through it again to kill them.
Got it. Okay.
But I don't get halved either, like they would if they were
But even then, this damage is not superficial. You can hear it
slashing and cutting.
Very much taking damage. Rhea, you've got your weapon pulled.
I do.
Rain and Vanna are next to you. Luther and Sarge and Esmeralda are behind y'all. And Danny, the 4 of them. What do you do?
So I follow his voice.
Uh-huh.
And where he goes, and he said there's 2. So I hear him attacking one. Then whatever, I try.
You can barely make out the forms in the darkness.
All right, so I'd like to try to shoot at the other one. I would like to say that the bullets that are in my gun are the ones that Mimi. They're silver.
Silver bullets. Yeah. Where did you get those?
There was a time where she had silver bullets.
Continuity.
Why would I not have silver bullets?
The question is, where did Baron get them?
Where did Mimi get those?
Where does Mimi get things?
I don't remember that. But this is the thing Mimi told you about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then fine.
Yeah. So, silver bullets.
Okay. Roll shooting.
I'm not aiming at you.
Is shooting dex or
arms and
mental?
I would assume it's
I've done a couple different ways about it. Depends on which rules you're using.
Shooting someone is composure plus firearms.
Oh, thank God. So that's alright.
Vaughn shakes her head.
I have no fighting abilities.
What do you think? It's okay.
I'm a lobbyist.
Lobby these wolves into
that could.
a sea of red tape.
I'll just throw money at them.
Oh yeah.
Spend some willpower, baby.
The only thing I got a success on was my blood dies, so
Good.
that's good.
Doesn't matter if it's not crit or 1, but still. You can do better than that.
Alright, so that's 3 successes.
3 successes. You're shooting at the other one.
Yes.
Okay, let me roll some dodge. 1, 2, 3 successes.
When do I do a break to tie?
Well, in D&D, meets beats.
Yeah.
So we can go with you.
Alright, fine.
So you're able to graze it with a bullet. Wolf 2. Okay. Rain or Vanna?
So I'm gonna find whichever person looks the largest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hide behind them.
Nick's run up. He's in
Not
melee
Nick.
with these.
Back here.
That would be Sarge
I'm
back
gonna hide
inside.
behind Sarge.
Girl, what do you think you're doing?
Hide it.
Do you not have blood power?
No, not that kind of blood power.
Rain?
Tremere is this?
So
I'll
these
let you
hairless wolves are to one direction of the alley.
Right.
What happens when I look the other way? Because I'm feeling.
You
certain
see
way.
darkness, first and foremost.
Okay.
But there is a moon out tonight. I think we're past half, so there's plenty of starlight to see by at the very least. So you can see the empty Capitol Street. I mean, it's literally called Capitol Street. If you turn right, you'll and walk up a block, you'll be at the state capitol, which is now dark as well.
Okay. So there's no like barrier. It's just like straight out into the street.
Yeah.
I think Rain makes a break for it.
He
I
runs.
think he runs towards the street.
Okay.
Chris, can I also have sent a text message?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to send a text message to Taylor, my executive assistant.
Okay. Your flashlight's still on, right?
Huh?
Your flashlight's
my
still on?
flashlight's on.
So, like, there's a light on the floor and a light, like, on Bono's
Well,
face.
I probably took, like, I have 2 phones.
Oh, yeah.
You said both flashlights were on.
You have 2 dead bones now.
2 dead.
We hear, like, click, 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 click,
They
click,
were
click.
fully
As
charged.
Ray's, like, edging around the corner.
Yeah.
Makes a break for it.
Like a hero.
Like a paranoid hero.
So paranoid.
As you, like, start to bolt, Danny grabs your hand, and you feel his full presence
Yeah.
turn on, and he says, "Wait, why are you leaving? You need to stay with us."
It's like this isn't anything like I thought it would be. This is madness.
Well, you're here now, and if you're truly with us, you won't leave. You won't leave. And if you want to resist this, it's composure plus intelligence. Is that right? For awe?
I think I did. I think it might be.
It can't be composure and intelligence.
I think I can just
Doesn't he
choose
told me
not
to
to
roll,
resist
but I
it,
think
right?
It has to be an attribute and a skill.
Can I just not?
No, it
resist
doesn't always have to
Really?
be. Yeah.
Oh.
You can choose not to.
5th edition.
He is using
Yeah.
he's using his presence to like try and like calm you
No,
down.
I get it. I think that as you say that, he starts to. I think he looks over Danny's shoulder, and he specifically remembers that the entire time that they were trying to refill Danny's harpy ship in New York, Rain was looking for like the leader that didn't want to lead. And like as you're saying these things about being here and like being with these people, Rain is starting to realize that like it's possible that Rhea was the person he was looking for and never would have even thought to look there.
A Ventru? What?
It doesn't make any sense. His whole coming here is completely opposite of all of his expectations. But like as Danny grabs him, I think he's suddenly is starting to like. It's like this place is already in more chaos than I could have ever imagined. Like these people are scrapping and fighting for their lives. Like they're not trying to hoard power over anyone.
Right.
So yeah. So I think
usually
that's
intelligence
the
plus-
realization that Rain is sort of dealing
Cool.
with right
So
now.
we see like the look between
Yeah.
your eyes, and then I feel like even though vampires don't breathe, maybe Rain there's like a little like sigh of relief.
Certainly, yeah.
Or release, rather.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, great.
Chris, it's usually intelligence plus resolve.
Ah. What?
Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. Anyway, we didn't have to roll for it, but thank you. We know how to play this game. We've played this game a lot, okay? So stop doubting us.
Recurring themes.
We've never played before.
All right.
Right, but the rest of us are experts.
Super experts.
We're professionals.
This is actually
even.
testing
No.
you. There'll be a quiz at the end.
Listen, I was born to play a sexy anarchist vampire. I'm just saying.
Anarchist.
So
Not anarch.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile,
Okay, yeah.
we're fighting monsters.
Right. So this wolf that is fighting you goes to rip out your throat.
Give the old college try. What do I need to resist with? We just do another brawl, strength brawl roll, like keeping it at bay.
Defending. Dexterity plus athletics.
Oh, that's not great.
If defending against range, 2 die penalty for no cover. Oh, good to know. I'm glad I printed these cheat sheets.
Come on. That's 2.
Two.
You want to re-roll the last?
I might. Well,
It's a powerful roll.
How many successes?
2.
2. I got 1.
Okay.
So it comes up and you just bring your arm up and push it off. The other one, though, runs up to Rhea.
I had a feeling.
So Dex plus athletics to avoid its bite.
Oh, me?
Yep.
Okay, great. That's
Much better. There we go.
uh,
Yeah, wolves. Actually,
This reminds me of an alligator.
as these wolves jump up on you, you realize they're not hairless. They're skinned.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is muscle. Like
Yeah.
it's
moist.
under.
They're undead wolves.
These are new jeans.
Or I'm sorry, they're not skinned. They're flayed.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Potato, potato.
like, all right, like those reformed, the people who were fighting Babad and David. They had those.
They weren't skinned, but
They were just like the muscles were.
she had her minions shaped into a very specific. It was all triangle.
2 successes.
2 successes.
And I spin a willpower.
Well, I got 4.
That's not gonna.
So you take 2 points
Okay.
of superficial damage
That's not bad.
as they start ripping at you. But that's not halved either. Yeah!
And I just marked 2 on these boxes.
Right. But you're going to mark it as a slash.
Yeah.
Aggravated is an X on your health boxes. So, like, you anyway. Yeah. Okay, Luther and Sarge are going to step out, and Luther's going to run up to you, Rhea, and try and, like, punch this wolf off of you.
So sweet.
I like it.
That's so sweet.
And he's able to do so successfully. He just, like, comes up and just, hey, fuck off! And, like, maybe he punts the dog, like, down the alleyway.
Dog punted, motherfucker.
Sarge comes out, like, around you and Danny, and he looks to the end of the other end and moves down there and looks down the street. It's clear down here. Let's move!
Do I have a wolf on top of me?
Luther just punted him off.
Right.
You have a wolf on top
Sure
of you.
do.
And we're back to you, Nick.
Why did anyone punt my wolf? It's because they love their prince. I'm going to.
So,
I made
sorry.
it above me.
Can Rain run back and try to attack a wolf? Not to, just for the
On the
dramatic
turn.
moment
Oh.
of it.
Sure.
Just because they might be dead otherwise.
Right.
But, like, I feel like he would.
I like your confidence.
He'd have the moment where he's like, fuck, I can't run away.
Well, I feel like we'll come back.
Okay,
we'll come back. We'll
sure.
come back.
Yeah, I'm
Sorry,
sure
I totally get it. I totally.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
4 successes as you're slashing.
Sawing away, yeah. Sawing away at this thing.
2.
Okay. So basically, I have it.
3, 4.
I grab it by like it's. I'm basically taking this thing and slamming it against the wall and ripping at it with like my offhand. Slam, rip. Try to go for its underbelly and
Right.
vitals.
It's very close. You can see it just like
Yeah.
snapping
Right.
weakly.
I'm just trying to get blood out of it. This is how I fight Kindred. It's like just get all the blood out of it, and then you're good. It works for most things.
We're back to Rhea.
So Sarge is down the alley.
Opposite where you're looking.
Yeah.
Luther punting
Luther's
punting
now
dogs.
punted a dog. How far away from it is me? Or is it?
Close enough for it to come back in the next turn and bite.
Where, like, would it be possible for me to try to make eye contact?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna try
Just the
to,
two of us.
just the two.
The
of us.
Ventru only action. Ventru have 1 tool in their box.
No. I'm gonna try to dread gaze this motherfucker.
All right. So
Wait,
dominate.
or do I want to dominate? No, dread gaze is
Oh,
presence.
presence. Excuse me.
2 tricks.
Do I want to dominate?
Dominate.
Or presence?
Dominate.
One of them's done.
Dumb.
The
Wait, I
other's
can do
nunchucks.
that. I can do that.
Exactly. You have tools in your toolbox. You don't have to hide.
Sorry.
All right, so I'm going
I did
to.
it. I also texted help.
You did.
To someone, is she in Albany or in New York?
She's in Albany.
Okay, great.
They are. I don't know their pronouns. They. Okay.
Okay, they're an omit. Great. Yeah, I'm going to try to dread gaze this wolf
Okay. Interesting.
thing. Wolf,
Dread
skinned
gaze
wolf.
Robert.
Flayed wolf.
Flayed wolf. Right. Okay, so that's
Presence.
charisma and presence versus composure and resolve.
Okay. Ooh, they don't have much of either of those.
We're hoping for.
No. They probably no.
More willpower, huh? You really want to
Yeah.
impress this
Well,
wolf.
That's 4 successes.
4 successes. I got 2.
I could have.
So you stare down, and they're and it stays at the end of the alley, kind of like arching up, and its tail being tucked between its
And
legs.
at this moment, you guys see the fangs start to come out. The shadows seem to deepen around me, even though there are no lights.
It's just
All you have
shadows.
is the moon, which is actually decently bright outside.
It's 3/4, you know.
All right, so there's like some like shadows. Everything just seems to get like elongated. I don't have claws, but it's just like features start to misrepresent in the shadows, and I'm just like, stay away.
We cut to Rain.
Okay, so
There's still a wolf
the
on.
situation is that one is dominated by
Dread gaze.
Rhea.
It's intimidated. It's going to
intimidated.
stay away, it seems.
Okay.
And then there's one that he's got up against the wall, and he's just like clawing into it.
Okay.
Sarge has gone down to the opposite end of the alleyway, and he says it's clear.
Okay.
And Danny's holding your hand now.
I will look to Danny, and I'll sort of like smile ever so slightly, and then Rain rushes back in towards where they're fighting these beasts. And
Danny claps his hands.
I think as I suppose we'll go after the one that Sheriff Nick is currently fighting.
Elbows deep in.
Yeah, I think
So
he'll
gross.
just like.
So gross.
It's weird to think about how I get in on that, but I think he just runs up and like as the mouth of it is like trying to like then bite down on you. I think Rain comes in and just like. It's just like trying to resist against his like feeling of paranoia, but like also like is like pulling on the power within him, and also his fangs start to come down, and he just like punches in at the wolf's head as it's like starting to go to like bite you on the neck.
Okay.
So I take away 2 because of my paranoia, but I'm also gonna add 2 from one of my presence things.
Let's make it just
prowess.
1, because of Danny's presence empowering
Okay,
you.
so I'll add 1 then.
Oh, so you
overall
only
from
remove
that.
1. Rather,
So you get to add. Actually, you actually get to add 1.
No. I was saying instead of having a 2 dice penalty, just make it a
Yeah.
1 dice penalty.
I get it, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna add 2 from prowess.
Well, so first you need to make a rouse check.
yes, I do need to make a rouse check. So 6.
6 means you do not gain any hunger.
Okay, great. And then I roll brawl plus strength.
Yes, plus your potence.
Great. And okay, so that is going to be -1, so that's 5 total, and I have 2 hunger. I got it.
What could go wrong?
Okay, so that's like 5 successes
Oh!
Yeah.
and no criticals either way.
So it's going to take 3 points of superficial damage halved because it's just a punch.
So I also have you can only use 1 power at a time, though, can't you? Because I also have lethal body, which I think does.
Lethal Body's free. Ignores 1 level of armor per potence level of the user.
Oh, I think it does lethal damage against non-vampires.
Can do aggravated health damage to mortals if desired.
But is this immortal?
But these aren't necessarily...
Mortals, yeah.
We're not breathing. We know that.
That's fine.
Anyway,
However it happens.
honestly, like with your potence and your lethal body, it only had like 1 box left.
Okay.
So describe your kill.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, Nick did most of the work,
Kill.
but I think
Steal.
at least as he's like getting into it, I think there was a moment where it looked like it was going to get at him, and Rain comes flying in after thinking that he had ran off, and just like gets one in there, and then sort of like stands behind you, like to sort of like see what else is happening with his teeth hanging out.
So the creature just falls to the ground and just lays there. And it almost immediately starts to like stink. Before you didn't really realize it, but now like this rot just instantly like comes over it.
Okay.
Vana.
So one is dead.
The other is cowering at the other end of the alley.
And then Sarge ran the other direction.
He's to Capitol Street,
Capitol
and he says it's clear.
So I like to go the direction Sarge went, and I want to, using my heightened senses, also look around and see if I see anything he missed.
What did you text to Taylor specifically?
I asked him to look into the power going out and see if he could get it.
He, okay.
If he could get it.
Taylor.
If he could get
Level 3 retainer.
It's level 3 retainer.
Like, pretty fucking good.
Solid.
I mean, a ghoul with powers,
Yeah.
ostensibly.
He's at the Tremere headquarters.
Right.
So he could get help from other Tremers.
Easy. Okay. Cool.
Just to try and get like the power back on and see.
All right, so make do wits and awareness
Wits and awareness.
plus aspects because you've got your heightened awareness.
Cool.
Awareness. Aspects.
How long will that?
Wow, I rolled 8 dice and got 1 success. No, 2 successes.
2 successes. You can always spend willpower.
I'll spend willpower.
Okay.
So that rerolls 3, right? But
Yeah, you can re-roll up to 3 non-hunger dice.
Okay. Oh, but I got a 1 on a hunger dice, so that's back, right?
Only if you have no successes.
Okay, so I got 3 successes.
3 total.
3 total successes.
Okay. You.
Now I would know that they don't. 4 successes. Now I would know that they don't necessarily like are breathing, so maybe I'll be listening for like little sounds like movement and like rustling.
Right. How many successes?
4.
You hear from down the street, several blocks, the singular steps of someone wearing heeled boots, clip-clopping towards your direction.
Which direction from the capital?
Towards the capital, heading north.
Yeah, I was like from the south.
Northwest.
But heading towards us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Several blocks away. I mean, your awareness is quite high up.
Yeah.
It'll take a minute for them to come up here. But Sarge looks at you.
And I'm going to kind of like make a gesture for him to like wait, and I'm going to like look back to Nick and Rhea, and like
Prince.
and make a like
opposite direction.
no, I'm like there's somebody coming. I'm trying to like mouth that there's somebody like coming our way, and I'm pointing the direction they're coming
We'll
from.
pick up on that.
Esmeralda steps out of. She's the last one to like come out of the building, and her eyes are glowing, slightly red as well now. And she whispers, "It's them. They're coming."
Oh, great. Can I install that? There's one cowering, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to install a submerged directive.
Okay. More dominations.
Different. This is the first dominate.
I'm so sorry.
What's the dread? What discipline is the dread gaze?
Presence. It's the opposite. So basically, you can choose whether to take entrancement or dread gaze, and I chose dread gaze. So it's basically opposite of that.
Yeah. Do you love me or do you?
Submerged directive. As memorized, though the storyteller might want to make any rolls in secret, there's no way of knowing if the submerged suggestion works until the conditions are met.
Right.
So you need to engage in conversation with the victim. Nope. Manipulation plus dominate.
Thank you.
Intelligence plus resolve. 2 things this thing does not have very much of.
Turns out they shouldn't have
It's
sent.
multiple dice.
They shouldn't have sent hairless dog monsters. Or
Either that was very bad or very good.
No, that's Chris for good.
even if it was good, they can't mess with you. Except for all of those.
Yeah, I know. Let's re-roll this.
Let's get some willpower going.
More willpower. Alright, so that's 4,
Yep.
5, 6 successes.
Doesn't the 2 10s mean it's a critical?
It's double!
Yeah.
So
That's
if
4.
you get 2 10s, they count as 4 instead
So
of
that's
just
5
2.
successes. 6 successes.
6 successes. Okay, I got 3.
Alright.
Great. So what do you say?
I'm gonna lean in real close because I know it's terrified right now. I'm going to whisper in its mauled ear, once I can find it. On my command, attack all who are against me. And my command is falafel.
Falafel. Great. You put the lawful in falafel.
It's falafelous.
While this is happening, Nick is picking up the corpse of the dead one that was taken out by Rain. And I'm like twisting to pull its head off and to like snap and rip, and then I dump it into a dumpster, being like, what if a bank as in like he's got this weird like I'm being official in like in the face of like horrible, like, what if a bank official came along seeing this horrible Camarilla, the masquerade would be compromised. But as I said, I wipe my like brow and like there's no sweat, but it's like an old like human habit, and there's just a streak of blood that goes across his forehead. Then he puts his hand through his hair, and it's like dripping with gore up to his elbows.
Oh no.
And he's just kind of like, okay, so and he's got red eyes, fangs out, claws out, and he's like acting like the human that he used to be. Like, all right, let's figure this thing out. And he looks over.
Roll that handkerchief and just be like, no.
Just like drape it, and it turns red as it soaks in all the gore.
From the north.
Oh, right, there's that. Okay, running back to the alleyway.
From the north. The boots were coming from the south,
Yeah.
heading northwest. From the northwest, you can hear several howls.
Oh, fuck me. Werewolves or actual, like, gangrel or...
Maybe more of these wolves.
I don't know what about a howl made me.
There could be, gangrel and werewolves, there are plenty of those in the capital district anyway. I don't know about these flayed wolves, however.
Yeah, this is something else.
Right.
More friends of yours, Nick?
Hey. No, I don't think so.
I think we should rejoin. Let's go to the... They said someone's coming. Let's meet up with the edge. Let's go to
The other
street.
end.
Yeah. And I would like to assume that imagine that the one that I've submerged directive / intimidated the fuck out of is kind of like lightly following.
It's totally doing that like when dogs like crawl.
Yeah.
Like behind you across the concrete, and like it's like cutting it up and leaving like a kind of ooze
It's a
of
skinless
blood.
monster, but like kind of a cute skinless monster.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Right.
It's bleeding. Oh.
The clip clops up the street are getting even louder, and you hear a voice. Dear Prince, I know you're there. Prince of Albany, come out.
Do I recognize the voice?
Come out. No.
Is there any way that I could send a message to Babette?
You could text David. And then Sarge looks at you like, and he steps out.
Sarge.
And he says, if you want her, come. You have to come through me.
No.
What do the rest of you do?
Oh. Sorry, I can't lose you.
How far away is this
Not terribly far anymore.
Well, we can hear clip clops.
You can hear the voice too. Do you peek around the corner?
Yeah.
Vanna peeks her head around the corner, and in the darkness you can see this pale figure almost glowing. Their skin is so white. Any semblance of humanity is long gone, as the back of their skull has been raised in these almost dinosaur-like ridges, kind of creating this fan around it. The shoulders they have spikes of bone emanating from them, as this thin androgynous figure clad in a black sheet, essentially, is just striding up the street, looking ethereal and monstrous.
Do I recognize what kind of creature it is, or?
It's a Tsumiche. You might not have seen it firsthand, but it's clear that you are seeing some of the discipline of vicissitude at work. Their bone and flesh.
Yeah.
That's what Tsumiche can do.
Cool.
It's awful.
Which is why they were played.
It's by their fucking Sabat.
I move up next to Sarge, and I look back at you, like kind of like embarrassed at like I can't believe we're doing this like macho bullshit thing, but this is the game we're playing. I look over, I'm like, I should get to safety.
The sheriff! The figure is just walking forward. Their lips are like red and pouty, and they look like they've been like filled. Like they're overly.
Yeah, they're like.
Oh no.
No brows, although like maybe like there's like this red streak of like this high arch like drawn on.
That's creepy.
Oh, the sheriff of this lovely city. No, I can't. Stop laughing. This is supposed to be scary.
I'm
scared.
I love this character.
I'm so scared.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
So good.
Maybe I can kill two birds with one stone.
Okay. That's the drama. What do you want?
As four more of these flayed wolves come down the street from the north, boxing you in. What are the rest of you doing? You're in the alleyway with Luther and Esmeralda. And Danny. Danny's like totally fucking freaked out.
Okay. So when I texted David, I said, if you or Babette are close, one of your kind is here to say hi, and we need her to, like, we're in danger. Or I assume it's a her because of the heels. But that's, just so you know, that's what I texted them.
It's like your text, like fear for your life, was not like.
Like
aggressive
Tsumiche are
enough.
the most non-binary of all the vampires.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they don't.
What's gender when you're dead?
One of my old touchstones is that never forget that kindred were people. Like the idea that and I am finding that challenged by that what I see before me.
Yeah.
Like the lack of humanity in this form is shaking me.
Take a stain.
Take a what?
Take a stain.
Okay.
What's that?
It affects your humanity.
Yeah, so you've got your humanity. The two of you each start with 7. So when you take a stain, you start on the outside and you slash. And then at the end of the session, you make a conscience roll, depending on how many stains you've taken. And if you succeed at your conscience roll, you lose humanity because you do not feel guilty. You do not feel anything.
Right, so now I'm like, oh, we are all monsters. We're just on like this spectrum. Like we're all moving in this direction. If we stick around long enough, this is what we are.
Right.
So I'm suddenly like, because I've been trying to, like, I've been falling into this normalcy and having a job and bitching about my job, and
This
now
is
I'm
not
like,
normal.
this is what we're dealing with,
This is what
fighting
we're dealing
vampires.
with.
And I look at my hands, which still have claws out, dripping with blood, and I'm like covered with.
And you're the youngest kindred here.
Yes.
Well, so I assume that everybody else is feeling very terrified right now. And so I'm going to actually enact awe.
And step out into the street. Right now, the Tsimiche can only see Sarge and Nick.
Well, I
The only
also
two.
want to encourage.
They saw me because I stuck my head around, right? No?
I feel like you were.
They might have. But those two are standing in the middle of the street.
Mainly for the people that, like Danny, who is obviously very afraid right now.
Danny's freaking out.
Yeah, I want to. This is going to be my way of a locker room chat, I guess, like a pep talk, some motivational speech.
Okay.
I will try to deliver it. I am not a good motivational speaker as a person. So,
Okay.
if it is I who you seek, look no further. As you can tell, we are a tight-knit group here, and you will have very much trouble getting through us because we stand together and we fall together. You will not get through one person without trying to get through all of us. And it might surprise you what you will encounter.
So you're not intimidating, you're trying to inspire. Leadership and manipulation, which is what you were hoping for. I realized I fell right into her trap.
You did. This is also a social role because I'm not in combat.
No, your beauty does not help here. No, I'm sorry. This is not
I feel like
social.
you would have more
This is
comfortable. All right.
no.
I'm inspired if you're, tiebreaker.
So that's 1, 2. Son of a.
Not a great roll.
No, it's not. Spending another roll.
We'll spend it. Shift it.
That was a 6 or 9. Sorry, it just rolled over. That was also a 7.
Come on, Princey.
2 more. It's 4 successes.
4 successes. And you step out into the street then, or are you just shouting from the alleyway?
I walk behind them.
So dramatic.
They're still in front of me.
She comes up between our shoulders.
Okay. For one action, I don't even know. This season we've gone completely off book. I've just been making up rules left and right.
Really.
It's fine.
So
It's
for
really
Nick and for everyone else, for the 3 of you, your next action, you can add Ria's presence rating to the dice pool. Luckily, this may never happen again, so whatever. We've got 30 minutes left in this game anyway.
I think when she walks out and says that and stands behind her 2 guardians, I think Rain will walk up behind them as well and stand in a row with the other 2 of them.
Look at this. This is.
And say,
Adorable.
friends of yours?
We all hold hands and give a Care Bear stare.
Friends of your 2, do you send it to?
You, probably.
Oh, definitely not.
Luther comes out as well, and he puts his hand on your shoulder and then pushes you back so that. Well, no. He's gonna actually go back to back with you because there are wolves coming from the other direction.
Yeah, there's that.
And he's like, "I'll defend you," he whispers into your ear.
Whoa.
Sorry, no, that in character.
It's an action show. It's got to be campy. It's got to be melodramatic.
Yeah, sure.
We are Albany. We are Albany.
Oh my god.
Hashtag.
We are
Can't.
Albany.
Too
Tweet it
far.
out.
I'm going back to being a traitor.
All right.
You're like, where's my white man?
Vana, you look over. You see Danny trying to calm down, and then you look and you see that Esmeralda is gone, disappeared.
She was really interested until it got a little too interesting.
Never trusted her.
I'm charging forward as soon as I can.
But Simiche is walking forward, bone ridges up, just this black sheet flowing past him as this. Literally, it's 30 fucking degrees here in New York tonight. It's cold as shit. And, that it could be colder. It's cold. And so, this frosty, frigid wind is blowing around this barely clothed figure. And you charge forward.
And I say through grit teeth with my fangs sticking out, the worst thing that happened. I have to deal with this bullshit anymore tonight. It's fucking worth it. And I go in there and start like swinging, slashing.
Okay.
Claws out, falls in there. 2, 4, 6, 7. What's your resolves, by the way?
Presents.
How much? It was. I got.
So your
What,
presents,
No, what's
right?
your present?
what's
I
my
think it's
presents?
added to my
3.
roll.
I have 3.
Oh,
I have 3
fantastic.
presents.
How much fun is that? I wish I was a better fighter.
Be a better fighter.
So does that mean they can all add 3 dice to their roll?
For this
Just
one
this
action.
one round there.
Oh, that's pretty solid. Y'all welcome.
Yeah.
It's pretty
bad I
great
got
what
a-
I just did for you guys.
Critical success on my defense.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do some willpower, Jesus.
Yeah, I spent. Oh, I need to mark that last one.
I got 7 successes.
Okay, I've got 4, 5, 6, 7.
Meets beats.
Yeah.
So you're able to like get close enough, and the Tsumiche like dodges,
Yeah.
and then that last one just scratches up their belly through the black
Yeah.
sheet. And they are like their hand, like they bring their hand out, and whereas you have like claws, their
Yeah.
fingers turn into needles.
Oh, it's really
Oh,
gross.
it's my worst nightmare.
You can X card at any point.
No, that's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going then.
That's great.
I think it's wonderfully
And so they
gross.
come up to just like jam Freddy Krueger style straight into you.
Okay.
1, 2.
It's just a pinch.
Athletics, dex, right?
Yes, to dodge.
Just a pinch.
It is just a pinch. No. Okay. No? Oh my god.
Chris, you can't get it.
Such drama, such excitement.
I'm using numbered dice and the special dice,
Right,
so I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
exactly sure what I'm
So
looking
you're
at.
confusing yourself on purpose.
I think I just got a messy critical.
Okay.
Oh shit.
I just got a messy critical.
Okay. So what does that equal out to?
6.
Okay, I got 2.
That's what happens when you.
I also have 9 health, so I've got fortitude. I've continued.
Right. So,
Aggravated?
no, it's superficial.
Okay.
Not have.
Right.
So 4 points of superficial.
Yep.
6 versus your 2.
Yep.
But, God, messy critical. What happens? Normally it's something that's like masquerade breaching, but like, what the fuck
Yeah,
does
exactly.
the Sabat care about breaching the masquerade? Also, we're in the middle of downtown Albany. The lights are out, so like, we're kind of safe as far as like muggles are concerned.
I think for Sabat, the messy critical hurts them and they become super masquerading. They hide
Shut
themselves
up.
better.
Jesus Christ.
Right? No? Okay.
I'm sorry, I have to just double. Messy critical. Character gains 1 or more stains, breaches masquerade, loses 1 dot from an advantage. None of it fits, so the messy critical turns into a simple mess, and the test fails as the beast clouds the senses or otherwise makes a quiet solution unattainable. So, okay. As it stabs into you, your blood begins to leak from it, from the wound, and it kneels down and immediately attaches its mouth to your stomach.
Nice.
And to start like licking up the blood.
Nice.
Ooh.
It's gonna be like a weird like stomach raspberry because it's gonna be really embarrassing.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Oh, it tickles.
What are the rest of you doing?
You guys want to get involved in this action?
I don't really know how this works. I have dominate. The only thing I have under dominate is cloud memory. So does that even?
It's not going to do much for you
It's
here.
not really. I don't have any.
You're a baby neonate thrust into the wilderness.
I don't have offensive skills.
You have persuasion. It's pretty strong.
I'm not.
Very strong wits, decently charisma and manipulation. I feel like you could do something with that. I'm not-
Trying to find what happened to the Malkavian that disappeared.
You could try to dominate.
Yeah, but it's cloud memory is the dominant skill I have.
Yeah, she doesn't have mesmerize
I don't
or.
have mesmerize.
She's got a nice masquerading.
I'm very good at masquerading. That's my.
That's the thing, and this is absolutely not.
My
mesmerize.
entire
Fucking
Like that's
Thunderdome.
Vanna's entire thing is that she is.
Oh,
very
I know
good
what
at masquerading.
happens. You get a text.
Oh, I get a text.
Taylor, your retainer, says, "On our way."
And I'm just be like,
Our?
On our
Our-
world.
Yes.
I'm just reply, our question mark? How many question mark?
Death imminent! Exclamation mark.
Well, we're bringing backup.
Good. Bad shit going down here. I'm going to hide.
Okay. You want to hide then? Dex plus stealth.
I'm gonna hide. Stealth. Dex. Ooh, I'm great at both of those.
Remember, you can always make a rouse check to add a die to a blood a check.
It's only one die.
Okay.
It's fine. One success.
One success. So you're able to just like move into the corner of the doorway that's still open into the Bank of America, and maybe find some cover there.
Yeah.
Rain.
Okay, so I am going to circle around the other way. There's 4 wolves coming in at us, right?
Right on the other side.
So I'm just gonna try to like stand as tall as I can, like in front of them, and just like be ready for them to like come in at us. And I think as one like leaps at us, I am just gonna attempt to like put all my strength behind like a kick right to its like chin.
Luther steps up next to
Yeah.
you. Bruja Brothers.
Oh yeah, great, yeah, totally,
Yeah.
100%.
That's awesome. I
And-
mean, you're all like kind of like working man. He's
Yeah.
he's in a like a pinstripe suit, but still,
Yeah.
the power of the people is at work here.
That's awesome. Okay, so a rouse check to add my superpowers, right? So 7. So I think that's okay.
Yeah, you're good. And I think that you might be adding it for the whole scene, honestly. I mean, this is very much a superhero game.
It is, yes.
The first edition had rules for tanks,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
fighting tanks.
Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I remove 1. I think still for being paranoid, but then I add 3, right? For your stuff from
You do, right.
So I think this is right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So that is 110 and 2 regular successes otherwise.
Okay, against the wolves.
Yes.
And you're like attacking? Defending.
No, attacking.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to attack one of them.
How many successes?
So 2 regular and 110.
So 3 total.
3 total.
Okay, meets beats. I got 3 successes.
Okay.
So 2 wolves come up at you, and 2 wolves come up at Luther, and the pair of you are able to just like kind of like kick and punch them away.
Just sort of,
Not doing any damage,
yeah.
but like crowd control.
Scrambling, yeah.
Keeping them, because to your back is Rhea, and then in front of her is Sarge and Nick.
Yeah.
Well, Nick's further ahead at this point. Esmeralda's gone, and Danny and Vanna are hiding.
Great.
What's
Yeah,
Sarge doing?
We're holding him.
Sarge is he's coming up with
He's
you
coming up with me, but because I've got this,
because I haven't acted yet as him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny and I are really more blood champagne people than fighter people.
The reason why I ask, I'm hoping Sarge will help me with this, monster that's attached to my abdomen.
Give me a raspberry.
That'd be super duper.
The raspberry.
Raspberry.
3 successes. Actually, can you roll?
Yeah.
Just roll your stuff for Sarge. I'll count that as our Simiche defending. 3
Okay.
successes.
Okay, but Sarge is better at this. I was hoping that Sarge is better at this.
He is an Ancilla, but you've gained more experience in the last year than he has.
That's true. Okay, well he got 3 successes as well.
Okay, so he's able to just like come up and like punch.
I'll spend some of my willpower for him if you want. Like,
Leave it for now. He's able to throw down some damage.
okay.
Oops, I just tried to write with an eraser. So he's going to do 1 superficial to this guy, not to this person. Not great, but it's a punch
Something.
with some potence behind it. Okay, it's hard without an initiative tracker, but I kind of like the
I like
free
it.
form.
Yeah.
Flow too.
Yeah. Like, and rolling initiative is
Do it more narratively.
the best way to kill a rhythm.
Yeah, and it just like destroys momentum.
Yes, momentum, that's the word. So I think that takes us all the way back up to Nick.
I've got this thing. It's like it's drawing my life out into its right? It's like sucking the life.
Right. It hasn't had a chance to like actively give you hunger yet,
Right.
Did you add
but
your
it's
3, by the
it's
way?
attached.
Take my
I
claws
just
and I
rolled
try
that.
to dig into its like neck under its bone.
Those ridges.
Frill, you know, like I'm trying to. So basically, you know, if you ever get bitten, like if you pull away, it'll rip away everything. It's like draw its head closer to me and drive my claws into the back of its head.
Damn. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna roll stamina. I'm gonna try to absorb some of this.
Absorb away. I am.
Stamina plus athletics. So I've got some of that. Not great.
No, this isn't great either.
Okay. What'd you get?
I got 3 successes.
So did I. Meets beats.
Willpowering it. I want to get more. I got 4 successes.
4 successes. Throw down another superficial as you bring in the claws behind this person's head.
Yep.
And they come up.
Digging it in, just like gnawing into.
Right, and they look up at you with like these bloodshot eyes.
And I
in the
look back down with my
darkness.
glowing red eyes. 2 monsters. It's like
Yeah,
it's awful,
it's pretty awful.
right? Because it's like we're like in this like there's no humanity in this at all.
No.
It's purely just like these feral kindred who are it's not great.
Right.
Not great. It's not great for Sheriff Nick. He's not feeling good about himself.
Speaking of awful, Rhea.
What a segue.
You got any? What do you got for us?
Okay,
Back.
so to the south is Nick and Sarge clinched in this battle with a bony person,
Kindred. Bony K-Knight.
K-Knight.
I hate when they call themselves Canaanites, right?
I don't mind it.
How do they seem like?
They seem locked in a battle to death.
Okay, but how
They seem
does
locked in a battle for their own lives.
how does the Kindred look that we're?
Not terribly wounded.
Oh, great. Okay.
Nick definitely looks more wounded than the K-Knight.
And then
The lick.
to the north, we have Rain and
Luther and Rain are kicking off the wolves. They're keeping distance. They're able to keep them off of you for now.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell falafel and then run towards and try. I don't know. I'll fucking pull out the gun again. I have my gun in my hand still. Actually,
Okay.
it's never gone away.
Okay, go ahead and shoot. Composure plus
Wait,
firearms.
so are they like tied together?
They are locked together.
I've got a head right here, it's like sucking the blood out of my.
I'm gonna try to shoot
Stomach.
at whatever part of the body is the farthest from them.
Subtract 2 from your dice pool.
That's not gonna be good. All right.
Composure plus firearms.
Right. 5. Okay. But I did yell falafel.
Falafel!
Because that's what you do.
The cowardly flayed wolf Bart runs with you.
Oh, shit.
And-
I thought he was going to go the other way.
As you
Alright.
shoot, it leaps towards the back of this K-Knight's throat.
I was like, please don't leap in the aim of the gun. Like,
No,
that's
no,
really
no.
just ruins the whole thing.
No, it's just timing.
That's 1 success.
1 success. Unfortunately, it's not enough. You shoot and it goes off into the air. However, the wolf is able to grab on and swing around, and it kind of wrenches the K-Knight as it's kneeling there. The K-Knight will then it removes its mouth from your stomach, Nick, and grabs your shoulders.
There we go. Oh,
I need
right.
you to make a stamina plus resolve check.
Okay,
This is 2 attributes that I'm combining. Yes.
I love it. Does my fortitude come into play at all?
Yes. Yes, add your fortitude. Well, do you need to activate fortitude to add it?
No.
It's just, I have resilience, which that's a straight addition. I was wondering if
Add it.
Okay.
I was like, I don't think you need to activate that. I think it just happens.
Fortitude plus resolve. Stamina plus resolve plus.
Fortitude.
Okay.
They don't really have rules for this out yet in this edition.
1, 2, 3. I can do it better than that. I'm going to spend a willpower. What is well? We can spend how many can you?
Up to 3.
Up to 3.
Non-hunger.
Up to 3
And I have plenty of those to roll. I get
That's
2 more.
2 more.
How
I
many?
get 5 successes.
5 successes. You feel this tension and pressure go from your shoulders down to your hands, down through your fingers and your claws, as the bones that are making up your claws begin to vibrate and tremble. But your fortitude stops them from moving. And the canine just growls, and you can see all semblance of consciousness is gone from this creature.
Oh, it's like some kind of Sabat frenzy nonsense.
Yes.
Okay.
Sarge will pull out a knife and come and just cut like through the side of this creature. Rain, we're back to you.
Okay.
How exciting.
What I know as a
It's like
vampire
Total Blade.
of a few years. These creatures, are they full of blood? They seem to be. I saw one get eviscerated.
They have blood in
How's
them.
it going out there?
And they seem fairly
I'll be back here.
normal-ish.
Fairly normal-ish
Well,
despite
maybe
being flayed.
like yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they actually seem mortal. These
Oh,
wolves.
so it's-
just flayed living wolves.
Right. So I think
But you said they were
I
not
think
living, they were breathing.
There is that.
oh, that's true.
But close
well,
enough. Anyway, forget about it.
whatever.
Don't.
I am going to attempt
Pay no attention to the man behind the
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
You're in front of the screen, though.
As I'm tussling with these guys, that's also a good point.
Well, it depends on what point of view you're coming at
Do
the
pay
screen from.
attention to the guy in front of us.
Yes.
I am going to attempt to, like, as I'm wrestling back and forth with these guys, to just, like, pounce on one of them at a certain point.
Okay.
And just, like, attempt to, like, grapple it and grab it, and then try, if I can, to, like, literally, like, bite it.
Let's start with a brawl and
Okay,
strength
right,
then.
right. Alright, so I'm going to do another rouse check for my prowess. And the hunger triggers, so that means I add 1 hunger, right?
Right, but this roll will only have your regular hunger.
So I don't add it until the next time.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Alright, so...
And I didn't see anything about... Normally it says for the scene, but I think... So their unarmed damage value as well as defeats... No, it is for one scene. So you actually don't raise your hunger. This is lasting for the whole combat.
Okay.
The first time you did it, your prowess, it was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Gotcha. Ooh, so I got some criticals.
10s?
I got 2 10s.
That's 4.
But one is on a hunger dice.
That's a messy.
Messy crit!
And I got
So
2
5.
successes otherwise. So
6.
4 successes,
No,
but 2
6,
of them are
6
crits?
messy crit.
So
Yeah,
that's 6 and a messy
The
crit.
2 10s become 4 successes.
Yeah, because they double.
Plus 2 more.
6 and a messy crit.
Yeah.
6
So
messy
6
crits.
successes
and
and
a
a
messy
messy
crit.
critical. So describe your kill, but describe how the beast takes control
Yeah.
in the same aspect.
So I think
Enough to stain you.
So after like going back and forth with these guys a bit, I finally like see an opening and just like I like feel like I'm holding back, and I eventually just throw everything at one of these wolves, and I just tackle it, and like I'm almost like rolling around with it on the ground, and to the point where I've like got my jaws into it. But like this blood is like tainted.
It
right?
is.
Like this
It
is
is.
not the freshest, most normal blood in the world. So I'm just feeling like the sickness of like these Sabat like flow through me as I'm like had like taken this guy out, but I'm just
Right.
like
You drain
like,
this wolf, but there's something inside you.
yeah, exactly.
Make a willpower check.
Okay.
Just roll your current willpower. Not what your willpower score is, but how much you have left.
Okay.
Probably haven't spent as much.
Do I add 2 hunger dice
I'm
still?
going through willpower like it's my job.
No, it's just straight willpower.
Just straight, so it won't matter. Okay.
Yeah, seriously.
2 successes?
You do not retch. You're fine.
Great.
Luther's there next to you, and he's just like keeping them off. He's not necessarily killing them, but he's keeping them away from the rest of the group. Vana.
Can I do I know if Danny has some sort of combat skills that he's just hiding? That I could
You know Danny fairly well, but you know him in as a harpy, and at Elysium, using disciplines is typically frowned upon.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say I could try and convince him to do something, but I don't know if he can do anything.
So, Danny, you turn to him, and his eyes are wide with fear, and he takes your hands. Vana, you can't let them get me. You can't let them get me, okay? You need to protect me. I'd like you to roll composure plus wits.
You're so selfish. Composure plus
Everyone out there all with their necks on the line, be like, "Woman for Albany." they're like, "It's for me, Bunny."
Wits plus composure.
Yeah, composure plus wits.
Hashtag me.
3 successes.
3 successes. I got 4.
Aw.
You have willpower.
I'll use it.
Spend a willpower to reroll up to...
I only had 1 success that wasn't on a hunger die, and it didn't roll a success.
So,
That's why I didn't use it.
how many did you have total? 3.
3.
So for the next 2 hours,
I was like, I don't think this is something you want to beat.
you are entranced
Oh, cute.
by Danny. You're enchanted by him.
Okay, Danny, I'll stand right here and protect you.
Impressed with his...
Requests resulting in obvious harm to the subject or their loved ones, or that oppose the subject's tenets, fail and require an immediate power contest roll, as we just did.
I said I'll protect him. I'm going to stay right here.
And he's hiding behind you at this point.
I'm hiding behind. So
Lost a little
me,
respect for Danny at this point.
It's me hiding behind a door with Danny hiding behind me.
Right.
Cute.
Right.
Cute.
And then I'm going to text
So cute.
Taylor and be like, are you close? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
On the way.
I'm going to check my finds locations. I have his phone. I know.
You see them. They're on the other, they're about to hit downtown.
Okay.
They're almost here.
Yeah. Because I have his, find a friend. He doesn't, I don't know if he has mine.
One
but I
more
definitely
round.
have his.
When we get back to you, they'll show up. You can tell just by looking at it.
So Nick is covered with blood and has been fighting for his life like an animal, like something or worse than an animal. But the gunfire goes off and it misses,
Sorry about that.
but it awakens this idea of and suddenly his claws, which were about to get ripped out and damaged, he retracts them, pulls out his gun, and remembers that I've got training and I've got ideas and I've got a humanity that goes beyond the beast. And I pull out my gun and move into into a tactical position and just unload on this monster because I'm not a monster anymore.
Composure plus firearms.
Okay. Which I've got some of. I'm going to spend some willpower. I've got 4 successes.
4 successes. Bang, 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 bang. 4 bullets straight into this creature's head.
Okay.
And they fall backwards down on the ground.
Firearm does +3 damage. After you on top of that.
Right.
So bang, bang, bang. I just fire it down.
Right. So it absorbs some of it, but as these bullets are just hitting it, and it's bestially trying to suck at your wounds.
Yeah.
It just knocks it back and falls from a standing position flat backwards onto the ground, hitting the concrete.
Okay.
The wolves are fighting, but you and Luther manage to fight them off and take them down. Maybe they're not dead, but a few of them are just on the ground, twitching in pain, unconscious. At that point, a car rolls around the corner, lighting up the Capitol Street. It's a sedan, nothing fancy, but enough to fit some of you. God, not everyone, actually. Because there are two people in the front. Taylor, your assistant, as well as the Tremere fledgling who played the piano. She had a name at one point that I forgot. Maybe Scott will remind me in a moment. They pull up. There's maybe enough spots to squeeze 4 people into the back. Taylor's behind the wheel. Get in!
I'm running in.
And Danny's following behind you.
Say go, I've got a car around front.
I'll stay with you, Luther says. Me too, Sarge comes up behind.
I'm useless. I'll get in the car.
What?
Go.
No.
Matthias, my driver, is right around the corner. Go.
And I'm gonna
I can't lose you.
can I lean out and
And I
pull?
go, and I
Also, you've already used your turn and I haven't used mine.
in the car I go.
What are we doing with the ceviche laying on the ground?
Is it dead?
No, I have my gun out already.
You're standing there.
Yeah. I sent Nick.
She sent me away. And I'm going to say I wanted to resist, but I'm still residually like you with your awe from
Presence.
before.
Yeah.
Go.
So I go, I'm like, I don't want to, but I pull myself away. And
Okay.
in the car I go.
Everyone-
Where's my terrified
We
dog,
still have
man?
room for one more.
There as well, like on the other end, with like their hind up. Everyone jumps into the cars and leaving Prince Rhea alone right outside her
Oh.
court. Who are you with?
Luther and Sarge are there.
They're
Well, we don't have to leave right
That's
away.
true. I thought they were hopping into the white van. Okay, so Danny and Vanna at least get away, as well as Nick.
Yeah.
You put Nick into the sedan, so
He's hurt.
back to the Chantry
Can't lose you.
they go, leaving you here with a few Brewha. Oh,
Sure.
damn.
Right.
Twist.
Just like it.
The
Plot
creature's,
twist!
as you're standing above the creature, its eyes open. And you can see like holes in its head and blood like leaking out.
Oh, its eyes open?
Mhm.
Perfect. That's all I need.
Damn it. What the? Am I fucking stupid?
Every time you're like, and then I do the thing that you wanted me to do. Why did I do this?
I kept moving everyone into fireball range last night. Whatever. I'm the
Every
worst
single
GM
time.
in the
Every
world.
single time, you're like, can I move that? And I'm like, they're
Does-
stealing.
I'm gonna look at I'm gonna look at it and I assume that the flayed wolf is just coming up and just growling, and like I hope that there is a moment of recognition that I turned their creature against them.
As they like look up, they're like, and they look around, they're like,
So I'm gonna try to dominate.
okay.
Mainly for say compel.
Okay.
Or maybe I just want to ask some questions.
This is a mesmerize then.
So it's a mesmerize?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to ask some questions. I still have my gun out, and there's a wolf there.
Right.
I guess I could do an intimidate and ask questions so they're scared and won't hurt me. So I could dread gaze this.
Do a mesmerize.
All right.
That'll get us there.
Okay, mesmerize. So that's 3 plus. Is that?
Because intelligence and resolve are definitely things I have.
Oh, I don't want to do things that you're okay with.
Well, let's go.
Okay.
Can we get some more of those wolf monsters? They're great for this.
Do it.
Okay. I don't have willpower, is the thing.
What a shame. Could be better.
Oh man, he rolled real good.
Make it better.
That's the Chris rolled real good face, guys.
As to tell.
He has a huge tell. I can always tell if he rolls really good or really poorly.
5. I have 5.
Willpower?
5 successes.
Willpower?
Willpower. 6 successes.
Start your interrogation.
Oh.
I'm not going to tell you what the result.
Great. That's exciting.
You've told us everything.
Who are you? And what are you doing in my city?
My name is Reika. I come from Montreal. I forgot the big lips. I come from Montreal.
Oh my god. The most disturbing thing that's happened in this whole campaign.
I'm just the foreguard.
The foreguard? So there's more of your kind.
Sent to weaken you up. Test your defenses.
As you can tell, we're not weak.
No, although I hoped. Go on.
Who else is coming? And how many?
Not much more. There aren't much of us left. The Americans have taken us out.
What are you running from?
You don't know?
I know, I want you to tell me in your own words.
You don't know.
Tell me in your own words.
It lifts up its head ever so slightly. You think we're bad? There is something deeper, beyond the veil of reality, that is awakened in the north. I wish we had had a hand in it. Unfortunately, no. You can blame the lupines. What else put me out of my misery?
How many more are coming?
2 dozen.
Of your kind or of the wolves' kind?
Sabat. Shovelhead.
Do they have the same shovelhead? So they obviously do not have the same power as you.
You won't see much resistance. We're what's left.
Great. I wish I had a stake. Would love to keep you around for some more fun, but I don't. So I'm going to have to kill you.
Lovely. Blam! Gone. Okay. Let's go to final moments. So as the night winds on and everyone is winding down, let's go down the line. We'll start with our guests. I know that things...
Thank you guys for being here. You were amazing.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. So let's just get it. This is where we do a montage of the final moments of the episode. There's some local band that's playing over the montage, and it's a very
style.
It's very CW style. Yes,
I was gonna say the OC or
exactly,
something.
Oh, yeah.
exactly. So Rain, what are your final moments?
So I don't think Rain would have ever said out loud a lot of the things that he was thinking, but I think he would at a certain point let Rhea know that he and some of his Brewhop friends are going to go travel north and see exactly what is coming. And he's going to say that no matter what happens with the Sabbat, when the old ones come back, fight for your throne and all that.
Take a few gangrel with you. It seems like it's their type of person, their type of undead. That is, the wolf is called. Right? That's what he said. The wolf.
He was referring to
Werewolves.
They
yeah.
were referring to werewolves.
Werewolves. So either way, a gangrel would possibly be helpful.
Maybe.
If you can.
If they're willing to
Of
help.
course, relate all the information to everybody.
Granted, final moments, montage.
Yeah, if they're willing to help.
So we see Rain getting into his white vans.
Yeah.
And driving off with a gang of Bruja. Headed
Maybe
north.
a few gangrel as well.
To Montreal? And
Well,
whatever
we
is
know
beyond.
that there was a few gangrel in New York that were from Montreal. So
More
there is.
upstate New York.
There is. Cool. Vana,
I think once Vana gets back to like the Tremere safe hold, she helps set up Nick to get the healing he needs. I don't know if we have that at the Tremere.
Blood, really, right?
Oh yeah,
No, you definitely have blood.
we have so much blood.
Danny is there.
Yeah.
And so we like pull you into one of those rooms. One of the fledglings is like, we're out of bags. We used them all to feed Herschel. And Danny kind of shakes his head. Nick, if you need it, you can have my blood.
It's unnecessary. I'm not that badly hurt. I can take care of myself. Take care of the Chantry.
I have like contacts
I
and could get bags of blood, right? No, not here.
You could.
Yeah.
So Vana leaves the room.
right. I look over and I say, I'm your sheriff. I protect you. You don't protect me. But then we'll come back to your scene. Sorry.
Well, we will come back to it in just a moment, but I want to have Danny's final moment. And he turns his presence on, and he says, you are my sheriff. That's why you should take my blood. Heal yourself.
I do have some power to resist this.
You do.
May I use them?
You can.
Okay. So this is going to be one of those intelligence plus resolve
Yes.
plus fortitude.
In like 2 hours, we know what he did, right?
What, Danny?
Yeah.
That he presenced?
Yeah. Like once it wears off, do you know what happened?
He's not doing an entrancement right here. You will know.
I'll know.
You'll know.
I'll know, and I'll be mad at Danny.
Probably.
I think
Probably
presence
a
is more
little.
subtle, right?
It's definitely.
Yeah.
But entrancement is enough. Like it's enough.
Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna be
Can you
mad
roll
at
for
Danny.
me?
Yes, go for it.
I mean, I don't really do anything. But I got the getaway.
This would be a
think it's
great
good.
fucking
I
moment.
got those
Yeah,
6
wouldn't it?
points in my retainer.
How nice to get the sheriff
gonna
blood
use-
bonded.
No.
Come on.
No.
You can't
Oh,
deny me
I forgot
this.
As I like walk away to go get him blood, I'll be like, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Oh.
6.
I'll give it to you. I won't even roll for it. I'll give it to you.
Six is a lot.
But do I realize of like how it's very subtle?
I think so.
Okay, and I say, don't ever try that again.
Can't blame me. And he turns on his heel and walks out.
Okay.
Vana, you step out. You're making your phone calls.
Yeah.
What's the rest of your final moment look like? Sorry to interrupt it.
No, it's fine. I think like I'll give him the blood, and then I think it's very clear to Vana that they need more like fighters, and she's not really the like on the ground fighter.
Right.
She was like, oh, this will be politics. Tremere politics. That's what I'm here for. Oh no. So I think she's gonna like send a few messages back to the clan in New York and be like, hey, let's send this other person up here.
Quill and pen? Quill and ink?
What is text? I mean, it'll be like vague text. It'll just be like coming back to the city, replace me with person's name who I think would be a better fit.
Okay.
And then I'll take the train back to New York with Taylor. And then we'll take the vampire Acela to DC, which is the best Acela train.
There you go. You get the fuck out of New York.
I'm just like, you know what? I'm done with Albany, and I'm done with New York City. I'm going back to DC, where I can deal with those monsters.
I mean, Albany does seem like a hot mess.
It is a hot mess. So let's go to DC, where I can do parties and wittily trick people into liking me.
Vampire's Playground.
Vampire's Playground.
Rhea, final moments.
Wow. So Matthias comes around the corner because silly me didn't realize my driver was around the corner the entire time. And takes me back home. I of course text Nick, make sure you're all right. And don't expect to hear back immediately. I assume Luther is with me as well. And get back to my apartment and immediately start writing a handwritten letter because I do not trust technology at this point still. to carry notices like this back to the ivory tower. Give them a written documentation of the night, and everything. Like, I don't leave back anything.
Right.
And then
This is not the first Sabbat assassin that you've dealt with this month.
But it wasn't just an assassin. It was an actual bomb to Albany. It wasn't just against 2 or 3 of us. It was against the entire everybody.
Yeah.
All of the kindred of Albany. We were all fighting. And so this is not a time to leave back information. And so I write everything, everyone who's involved, all the things that they were able to do and contribute. Another plea for more resources, mainly at this point also fighters, because I realize that might be more important than monetary funds at this point.
Right.
Which eventually were very quick to write checks, but not as quick to send other things.
Bodies.
And I think my final scene is me cleaning my gun. I haven't shot anybody in a long time.
And then Luther comes up and he puts his arm on your shoulder. And he sits down next to you. And he takes his hand and puts the gun down on the table and grabs your face. Are you okay? And as he goes to embrace you, the camera fades, and we head to Nick's final moment.
I already had a little bit of one, but I think after all the things, and Nick always at the end of the night is alone, and he is in his bathtub, and it's full, and he's just soaking because he's coated in gore and blood, and he's a kindred, so he's laying in a bathtub, but he's got no natural buoyancy because there's no air. So, and he doesn't need to breathe. So he's just laying alone, the bottom of his tub, soaking the blood off of him, and just staring straight up with his eyes wide open at the bottom of the tub, just you just see his mind just reeling with the events of the evening.
And that is where we'll end tonight's episode. Thank you so much, everyone who hung out with us tonight. The Zen of Games, it's super cool meeting you, meeting you. Thanks. I'm really glad you enjoyed tonight's session.
And the Samachas.
And the Samachas, the Samishas. If you want to see the last episode in which a Samiche villain featured heavily, you can check our YouTube somewhere down there and see the episode Bad Bet. She was a much older Tsumiche. No flesh crafting, all sorcery.
Who did not respond to my text message?
She did not. Maybe she's busy. We'll be back for our final and last episode of Albany by Night in 2 weeks' time. So, Zen of Games, be sure to hit that follow button. And join us next time.
Called out.
Thank you so much, everyone. And as always, come game with us. We're streaming multiple times a week, so hit that follow. Follow us on social media, and come game with us.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Good night.